Hey everybody, Pastor Frank coming to you live via a recorded message. Hope you're doing well on this Thursday. I've got my Richardson High School t-shirt on because several of us from the staff are going to be going to a game this evening, the junior varsity game between Pearce and RHS. And it's a Spring Valley Youth versus Spring Valley Youth event. So on one side, on the Pearce side, Alan Willis. On the other side, the RHS side, Emerson. Y'all might know, they both work in the media booth on Sunday mornings. So they're going to be going head to head this evening, and we're going to be there to support both of them. Now, Alan, nothing personal. You know, Linus went to RHS, and so I had this in the closet instead of a Pierce shirt. So I'm not saying I love Emerson more than you. This is just what's available. Anyway, wanted to stop by because I will not be here on Sunday. Our family is headed to Fayetteville for Parents Weekend at the University of Arkansas. You might say, well, Pastor Frank Glass was just here last weekend. Yeah, he was. He was on fall break. So he had Monday and Tuesday off of this week. And so he was here until Tuesday. Miles at Hendrix College, which is in Conway, Arkansas, near Little Rock, is on fall break today and tomorrow. And so he's going to drive over to Fayetteville. And so all five of us are going to be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We're going to go to the Arkansas A&M game, looking for a big-time upset there. Hey, Sam Searle. And we'll just be having fun. And so I won't be here on Sunday, but I'm excited because our guest preacher on Sunday is the Rev Derek Jacobs. Derek is the Associate Director for Leadership for the Horizon Texas Conference. I've known Derek for about 2 decades. I first met Derek at a retreat out at Mount Sequoia Retreat Center, which is somewhere in Arkansas. And it was a retreat for pastors who could become church planters. And I'm still not sure why they invited me to do that. I would be the last person on the entire clergy roster of the conference to plant a church. But anyway, they asked me to go. I did go. It was not at a good time for me personally. I just started our ministry at Prosper United Methodist Church. I'd been there for maybe like a year or two or something. And I had also just started my work on my doctorate, which was happening in Washington, D.C. And so I was not going to be planting a church in the near future. And I was already traveling for 2 weeks at a time, twice a year, when we had a newborn at home, Linus, and the other kids weren't even, like, James was in elementary school and Miles was probably still in preschool at the time. Anyway, it wasn't a good time for me. So I just left. I left the conference halfway through. Chris Dowd, who was my roommate, who is now the senior pastor at Christ UMC in Plano, but then was associate up the road here at Arapahoe. He still laughs at that I did that. I left during the middle of the conference, but I just didn't feel like this is where God needed me to be. But anyway, Derek was there, and unlike Dowd or I, Derek did become a church planter. He planted the Village United Methodist Church in DeSoto, Texas, and served there for 14 years. Had a fantastic ministry there before transitioning to this conference role, which he did a year or 2 years ago. Derek's a fantastic guy. He and I serve on the Conference Board of Ordained Ministry. Lots of wisdom. I'm excited. And I intentionally invited him because of the series that we've been doing recently on dreaming God's dreams for Spring Valley and that Exodus story of God hearing the need and acting to make a new future possible. And Derek lived that at the Village. And so he knows all about visioning. He knows all about planning and going into a bold future. He's going to preach on the Joshua 1 text, which is just on the other side of the Exodus story. So really consistent with what we've been doing. So I can't wait to hear his message from the recording. So hope y'all will be here with your hospitality hats on to welcome Derek and his spouse to Spring Valley. And one last plea, that a week from Sunday is our annual Halloween Fest and Trunk or Treat, and we could use some more trunks. I think we were up to 14 trunks now, and Mason was saying that they would really like to have more like 20 or a little bit more than 20. And so if you've got trunk space available and you're free 4 to 6 on the 26th of October, it'd be great. I saw the 10-day forecast. It's going to be a perfect day that day. Last year it was blazing hot. It was like 95 degrees last year. It will not be happening this year. It's going to be nice in the 70s. And so make plans for that to come support and engage the community. All right, y'all, I'll see y'all next week. I'll see you next Sunday in worship as we wrap up our series on following God and God's dreams for Spring Valley. Take care, and bye for now.